So you have a job and you're making a decent amount of money, but you're thinking about getting another job to take care of other bills and other necessities that you have in your life. Hold up, slow your roll, because getting another job isn't just some cakewalk or some type of walk in the park. You need to take caution before making these type of decisions because it can cost you mentally, physically, and yes, even financially. This is the reality of having two or more jobs. Now, how might this cost you mentally, you ask? Well, for starters, think about the first job that you only have right now. Think about how you started from day one, got trained, whatever the job is, whether it's customer oriented, whether it's at a warehouse, whether it's delivering. Think about how you were day one, right? And of course, you got adjusted to everything. You had some good days and you had some bad days. Now, you got to do that again at another job, starting from day one, getting trained, and learning something that might be completely unrelated to your first job. That's two different atmospheres going on at one time within the same week or possibly even the same day. How can this cost you physically, you might ask? Well, for starters, you already have a normal routine at your first job. Now, your first job could be laid back or not as physical, but at the end of the day, you still have a set time. You have a set time to get there, you have a set time to take a break, you have a set time to get off of work. Okay, most people are already tired from their first job, and that first job can range between 8 hours, 10 hours, or even 12 hours, even more, depending on what kind of job you have. Now, you're adding another job into your lifestyle. Okay, that can be physically taxing, especially when it comes to sleep. So, let's say, depending on your schedule, you already work a full time job, your first job, in one day. Then you have to turn around and work somewhere for maybe 3 to maybe 6 hours of your second job. You do that X amount of days in a row, that's going to be physically taxing. It's going to be mentally and physically draining. Okay, over time, look, you're going to be burnt out. Okay, that's what comes with having a second job. Mentally and physically taxing. Last but not least, it can cost you financially. Okay, you're going to be traveling back and forth from your residence to your first job, you know, back to your residence, your crib, and you got to do that to your second job from your house to your second job, or even you go from your first job, then you go to your second job, then come all the way back home. Okay, financially, that's going to cost you because of gas. A lot of gas traveling back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's going to cost you. Another way that can really cost you financially is more money, more problems. It it always happens. The more money you make, life always tends to happen and problems always start to occur the moment you start making a little bit of extra money. It's a given. So the whole initial thought of you getting a second job was to pretty much cover your financial basis from the get-go. Then when you get your financial basis covered, you get a second job and more financial problems start to occur. It's bound to happen. All right, more money, more problems. Word to Biggie, man. It's gonna happen. All right, getting a second job is gonna cost you mentally, physically, and financially. Now, how do I know the real reality of having two jobs? Well, the last couple of months I've been working two jobs. And for those who don't know, my first job that I'm working currently is Amazon delivery. And for those who do know about delivery jobs and you know Amazon in general, those type of jobs are physically demanding. And when I'm on the road and I'm delivering packages, I'm delivering between 400 and 500 packages on the daily basis. Okay. When I'm in my downtown area, I'm delivering all these packages within, a 10-hour shift. That's physically demanding. Okay. My body be hurting. I'm not even 25 yet. And I'd be so burnt out, man. And I've been doing this for the last 3 years. Okay. Now I'm getting older now. Bills are getting a little bit more expensive. I decided to get a second job. And my second job is working at, I'm not gonna disclose where I work, but it just is, let's just say it's in a indoor amusement game center. Okay. I'm doing that on the weekends. All right. So I work my Amazon job Sunday through Wednesday, and I work my second job Fridays and Saturdays. Now my first job, I started at 8:30 in the morning. 8:30 in the morning to potentially 9:30 at the latest, Sunday through Wednesday. And then my second job is Friday through Saturday. That's 16 hours there. 45 hours in my first job, give or take. That's like 60 plus hours, man. I am tired. I'm tired. But I have a goal. Because I don't have to do this, but I need to do this as of right now, just to get over the little hump that I'm on. Okay. Just get over this hump. For the rest of the year, I'll be good. Knock out 2 to 3 more months. Then I'll be done working 2 jobs. I won't. God forbid I have to do this again. And the crazy thing is, the tongue is a powerful thing. I remember maybe 6 months ago, I was down bad, like financially, and I refused to get a second job. I told myself, man, I don't care how down bad I am, I would never get a second job. Because one job is already enough. Mind you, I have no kids. No kids. And, life happened, and it just forced me to get a second job. Be careful what you say. Never say never. Notice I said I didn't have to do this. Okay. I could still be working one job and still just barely get by. But for those who's out there with children or just maybe even bad with money, some people have to do this. I know someone personally at my first job. He works 2 jobs as well. He works this physically demanding job 8 to 10 hours a day and turns around and go to another physically demanding job at a warehouse for another 8 to maybe even 9 hours. So I started thinking to myself, like, bro, how do you sleep? When do you sleep? He said he just take a nap in between, getting ready for the next shift at his first job, which is the one we worked together. And you can see it. You can see it in his face, man. Like his eyes are always bloodshot red, or it's like reddish and brownish. And he's a cool guy. Actually, one of the funniest people I know at my job. But man, he has to do that. He has a family to provide for, and that's just where he is right now. Some people have to do this. Basically, what I'm trying to say is having 2 jobs, it is taxing. Okay, no pun intended. It's taxing. If you have thoughts of getting a second job, I'm not going to tell you not to get a second job. What I am going to say is make sure it's temporary. Okay, you don't want to get caught up working 2 jobs, no longer than a year. Okay, for me, it's only gonna be like maybe 6 months. But longer than a year, if you have to, that's fine. But always put yourself first and put your mental and health first. All right. We only on this earth for X amount of time. Okay, life is short. Do not bring yourself out trying to chase that dollar. Okay, because at the end of the day, you can't even take none of this stuff with you. All right, having 2 jobs is cool. Just make sure you knock out what you need to knock out. Take care of what you need to take care of for the time being, and either save up with your first job, or find a skill to learn, and put yourself in a position where you don't have to work anymore. All right. Having 2 jobs, think of it as, it's just another challenge in your life. It's just a chapter. Okay. It's not your whole book. Having 2 jobs is just a chapter in your life. And once that chapter is over, back to normal, man. Make sure that it's temporary. That's all I'm saying. And that's all I got for y'all, man. And if you have a second job, drop down in the comments and tell us what you do for your second job, first and second job. And let me know how that's working out for you and how long you've been doing so. And at the end of the day, if they can do it, so can you. Achieving greatness awaits. I'm out.